the evolutionary line from ape to human. Okay, let's look at Neanderthals. This is the one that gets everybody excited. Neanderthals, keep in mind, this is the first picture drawn, and look at the guy, he has hair everywhere. They don't find these bones with hair anywhere. They just draw it. I don't know how you're going to tell how much hair a guy had when they don't have any with them, but that's what they drew. So it's first found in 1856 in Germany. Constructed to look like an ape, obviously, but something interesting is their brain capacity was 200 cc's larger. Why would they have bigger brains than we have today? Or aren't we supposed to start small and get bigger? That's something to point out. And then things we found with them, they used jewelry. They used musical instruments. They did cave paintings. They were capable of speech based off the fossilized voice boxes they found. And then vocal cords. And they buried their dead. That's interesting. They buried their dead. So one artist was given a picture. 9 different artists were giving a skull of this supposed Neanderthal. And they got 9 different pictures here. So if you see on CSI, they find like a dead bone, and they construct like all these human bodies look almost exactly perfect to whatever the real person would have looked like. It's not exact science, it's pretty close, but you get 9 different artists doing that, and they got 9 different results. Something I'm going to go a little bit more in detail on is that most anthropologists recognize that the burials of these Neanderthals are very human and very religious act. Neanderthals were fully human, according to this guy. And our species, there's only 4 sites that we find these on, and they're buried like most modern humans are today. Well, that's interesting. So we only have 4 sites, and very few of these Neanderthals we find, which were probably just old humans. And they buried their dead, but we have thousands and thousands of dinosaurs all over the fossil record, but I'm pretty sure they didn't bury their dead. Animals don't bury their dead. Well, how's that work? So here's Buried Alive from Dr. Jack Kuzo. He actually got to physically study the actual bones of Neanderthal, and he noticed that the jaw was out of place by almost an inch. They purposely did that because on the ape, the human has a flat appearance in the jaw, and the ape's a little farther out. So they purposely rearranged the data to make it appear more ape-like. Now here's Lucy. This is usually one of the most popular ones. It's actually still featured in textbooks today. I know some biology textbooks are actually taking it out, but apparently my 2007 edition book for Longview still has it. Okay, this guy, Johansson, went to Africa on a grant to find a missing leak. Well, 2 weeks before his grant money ran out, he found Lucy. So this is what he found. And the reason why it's named Lucy is because the song that was playing on the radio at the time was Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. It's from the Beatles. Okay. So this is the skull that you see up here. This is what you'll see in a textbook. Now, how'd they draw that from this up here? I don't see how they get the full thing to look that detailed and stuff. Especially, it doesn't look like there's hardly anything there, but they did it. So in 1974, Lucy was discovered. About 40% of the fossil was found, and it was claimed to be a 3.5 million-year-old link, and it also claimed that it walked upright. Well, notice about up here, there's no feet or hands on this guy. But there's human feet on this one, and human hands on that chimpanzee, or whatever you want to call it. That's actually the model that they put up in the St. Louis Zoo. It's still there today, and it's still in that biology textbook I have over there. So they gave it human feet. They don't know what its feet look like because they didn't find it. Now, something you should know about Lucy and the Australopithecines is that they have no similar appearance to humans whatsoever. Now, it wasn't just Lucy they found. They found a couple other fossils, and they tried to classify them as one. Their arms are long, identical to a chimpanzee. Their jaws are similar to a chimpanzee. The upper leg bone is similar to a chimpanzee, and Lucy's legs are very ape-like. The brain size was 400 to 500 cc's, overlaps the size of chimpanzees. They have large back muscles, you can tell by how they warp on the bones, for tree dwelling. Their hands are similar to pygmy chimpanzees. The previous picture I showed you didn't have hands on it, but they have found other ones that they classified in the same group that did. And the feet were long and curved. You can see the big difference between the human hand and the feet structure you have up there. So did Lucy walk upright? I originally had like about 100 slides just over Lucy, but I had to take all those out. So I'll summarize it for you. In 1987, this guy, keep in mind, these are all evolutionists, and I'm going to point out in the slide, as well as a lot of the slides I use the quotes from. So this guy is professor of anatomy and human biology. He did the most extensive computer analysis ever done on Lucy's bones, and he concluded that Lucy did not walk upright. It was a chimpanzee. In 1992, the American Journal of Physical Anthropology said that Lucy walked like a chimpanzee. In 1994, Journal of Human Evolution Biochemical Study says that study of the hips and thigh bones said that Lucy did not walk upright. In 2000, we're getting a little closer here, science says Lucy was a knuckle walker. And in Nature, it says that Lucy walked like a knuckle walker. These are all evolutionists saying this, and why are they still printing this in books today? I don't understand. They've pretty much said that it's no longer human, or whatever, a transitional form, but they still have it. So what about dinosaurs? This is probably my favorite topic, but there's so little time. I haven't actually been keeping track of time. But So what about dinosaurs? Did humans live with them? Were there dinosaurs on the ark? Something to keep in mind is you're not going to take the biggest animal you can find in the world and put it on your boat. You're going to take the baby ones. They'll live longer, they'll reproduce more. Yes, there was dinosaurs on the ark. Now, what did Noah do with the woodpecker? I'm wondering if he had to build a steel cage or something just to put him in. Okay, so the Bible says, for in 6 days the Lord made the heaven and the earth, the sea and all that in them is, and he rested the seventh day. So God made everything in 6 days. And God said, let the earth bring forth a living creature after his kind, cattle and creeping thing, and beasts of the earth after his kind, and it was so. And the evening and morning were the 6th day. The Bible tells us that dinosaurs were made on day 6, according to Genesis. So we got two basic theories. God made them on day 6, 6,000 years ago. 4,400 years ago, the flood wiped out a lot of things. Noah took 2 of each kind of animal, not species, kind, which was estimated to be about 16,000 kinds of animals. And then you have the evolutionary theory. It says 20 billion years ago, nothing exploded, came organized everything. And then dinosaurs formed millions and millions of years ago. So things to consider about dinosaurs, there are thousands of legends about dragons. Now, the word dinosaur was invented by Sir Richard Owen in 1841. So the word dinosaur did not exist before then. And the Bible has dragons being mentioned 34 times, something to keep in mind. Now, why would the Chinese calendar have 11 real animals but 1 mythical one? Anybody ever think about that? I'm going to go into a lot of different pictures here, but this is King Namar, the first pharaoh of United Egypt, had 2 long-necked dragons up here. Why did they draw long-necked dinosaurs if they hadn't seen them? And keep in mind, there's like a real animal right under that. There's a bull right under it. Stuff like this we find all over the world. Now, Herodotus wrote of in 440 BC that he was in Arabia and saw a winged serpent. And he said that on my arrival, I saw the backbone and ribs of the serpents, and such numbers as impossible to describe. The winged serpent is shaped like the water snake, and its wings are not feathered and resemble those close of a bat. Could he be talking about this pterodactyl? Now, there's lots of Native American legends just in America of pterodactyl sightings and stuff. Now, there is even some, it's called cryptozoology. These people study hidden animals, or basically animals that most people don't see. In Africa, they think there might be something similar to this still alive, and missionaries have reported stuff like this. It's kind of interesting to look into it. So here's the Babylonian Wall, and there's dragons and lions on it. I was watching the History Channel, and they were talking about this wall, and they were saying, well, they drew a real animal and then a mythical one right next to it. Why were they drawing long-necked dinosaurs on these walls? This is actually an example of the wall. It's in the museum in Berlin. This is a guy, 2005, in Iraq. They're still on the walls. And Saddam Hussein actually attempted to rebuild a lot of the wall. And this is a modern replication of what it used to look like. And this would have been 600 BC, about when they were built. And why are there dinosaurs on them? If they hadn't seen them. Here's a 2nd century AD mosaic of 2 long-necked dinosaurs, 2nd century. Now, keep in mind, that's necking. Okay, now Viking ships often had the heads of dragons. Now, why would they put something on there that wasn't real? I'm not sure. I would think it would probably make more sense to put something on there everybody was afraid of. It'd be foggy out, and you're coming through the waters, and you see this giant thing sticking out. And there's even a lot of stories today that some people think Plesiosaurus still might be alive, just very rare, like a handful of them alive. It's interesting to look into the different testimonies about that. So here's a picture of the Grand Canyon, and there was what looks like a dinosaur drawn on the Grand Canyon walls. This was found, I think, in around 1922, I think. There are lots of pictures of dinosaurs on the walls of the Grand Canyon. They don't tell you about this in science textbooks. To me, that's what that looks like. I don't know. But, so why did the Indians draw dinosaurs if they had not seen them? I mean, it's not like there's just two pictures, there's a lot of them. And this guy wrote about it whenever they first discovered this, and he was kind of upset. He said, the fact that some prehistoric man made pictograph of a dinosaur on the walls of the canyon upsets completely all of our theories regarding the antiquity of man. Oh no, it upsets his theory. Oh wow, we got to change everything. This is 1925. Then he continues and said, it is not a dinosaur. It is impossible because we know that dinosaurs were extinct 12 million years before man appeared on Earth. We know it. It's impossible. This is his presupposition that we know. And this is in 1925. Now keep in mind,